All right, guys, what's up? Hack Stab Slash. We're back. We got Justin's pick today, the wonderful 2005 horror flick, House of Wax. You want to give us a quick reasoning why you picked it?
I picked this because, I don't know, I think everyone has like their comfort horror movie. I saw this back in theaters when it came out, and I just loved it. And it's one of those movies that anytime I see is on TV, I lose the next 2 hours of my life because I've seen it that many times. So that is the reason why I picked it for us to review it today.
Waterboy, what's your first thoughts on House of Wax?
I saw this many years ago, and it's honestly an awesome. It wraps up what 2005, horror movies would be like.
Right.
It's just perfect, honestly. Every aspect.
I listened to so many like little podcasts like coming into this because I've already seen the movie, so I wanted to see other people's takes. And the biggest thing they all agreed on is they call this the most 2005 movie of 2005.
Oh, 110%.
Oh yeah.
Hands down, dude. You got Paris Hilton, you got Jared Padalecki, you got Cousin Skeet, you got what's that guy's name from Scary Movie? You got Chad Michael Murray.
Yep.
Like this is like everyone I listen to. I don't watch any of these shows, but they're like, this is Gilmore Girls from like a horror movie.
Okay, basically.
No, 100%. Someone laughed at me at work when I said I picked this. Like, oh yeah, like that's a well-acted movie. Like, yo, I never said this movie was a great, well-acted movie.
One of the things. Like, there's so many.
If you want to see a well-acted movie, go watch like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and like the Departed or something.
Right?
Like, get the fuck out. This is horror. Like, you want to get scared.
There's different levels.
Scared, yeah.
There's different levels of horror movie. Like 30 Days a Night did a great job at like making like our last movie we did. Like, it's awesome. Like, they take away all the things you like. Well, this would be stupid if this didn't happen. And they had a logical explanation. Well, guess what? This movie, you got to throw some logic out the window because some of it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Like Dr. Giggles, for example.
Right?
All right, guys. I'll do a quick little recap of the movie, and then we'll let Justin take over. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right.
Good.
House of Wax, 2005. One Night in Paris, a 2004 pornographic video directed by Rob Salomon, promoted by Kevin Blatt.
Hold on.
Paris Hilton having sexual intercourse in May 2001 with Salomon. Not originally intended for release, it was filmed primarily with a single stationary tripod mounted camera using night vision. However, a handful of scenes were filmed indoors without night vision. All right, you guys want to get into this?
Did you seriously just read? Read. Oh my God! You just read the plot for One Night in Paris.
But Justin, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that is not real. You just make it up and you actually read something.
I had to go on Craigslist and find someone actually selling the DVD, so I could find a picture of the back of the DVD, so I could read the synopsis.
That's what it actually says on their tape.
Oh, good.
See what it says.
I cannot believe we decided off like this.
Fun fact, this movie poked so much fun at Paris Hilton in One Night in Paris, and she was down for it. Like, she was down for the ride.
Oh, yeah. She was.
They built this movie around her. Like, she was the first person cast for House of Wax before anyone else.
Yep, I did read that. Yeah.
All right, guys. The real synopsis is Wax is a 2005 slasher film directed by...
I can't say his name either. Oh my God.
Show me Sarah.
Yeah, Mr. Sarah. In his feature directorial debut, and written by Chad Hayes and Kerry W. Hayes. The film stars Elijah Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt in the dual role, Paris Hilton, Jared Padalecki, John Abrams, and Robert Richard. It's a loose remake of the 1953 film with the same name. It itself is a remake of the 1933 film Mystery of the Wax Museum, based on the story House of Wax by Charles S. Belden. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? These guys, they go out looking for a football game. Cousin Skeet is pumped up. They go try to get to a football game. They pull over to camp out for a night. They get a blown fan belt, and they have to go find help, and it's their worst nightmares as they enter a wax museum.
Into this, so it'll go pretty fast first because we got typical, slasher movie, just meet the characters and everything. But we start off with a flashback scene to 1974 where we see a mother in the kitchen and one of her sons having a bowl of cereal, and the father comes in holding another son. Kid's kicking and screaming. He's yelling at his kid, puts him in the child's chair, but he is restraining this kid. He is duct taping him up. Just absolute terrible. They're screaming, why can't you be like more like a brother? And you just basically see. So you get a quick, it seems like a minute long, quick flashback of that. And then boom, right into present day where we meet our friends. They're at a diner. They're having some food. And like he named them, you meet, see if I can remember all the names. We meet Carly and Wade, her friend Paige, which is Paris Hilton. You're going to call her Paris the whole movie, aren't you? All right, sorry. Paige and her boyfriend Blake, their friend Dalton, and Carly's twin brother Nick. And they're all talking about how they're going on a road trip to college football, the biggest game of the year. And Blake knows a shortcut, so they start out. So we got Blake and Paige in the truck, and the other four in Wade's car. They're going out there for this shortcut, and what do you know? Right away, there is a road closed. So they're talking to us a little late already, so they want to rest. So they decide that they're just going to pull off somewhere and start to camp. What could go? What are you eating, Waterboy? What is on your face? Yo, you got. Oh, all right. Anyway, just so like they want to camp. So they drive through the back roads, and
I think
it's just Dunkaroos, bro. It's just Dunkaroos.
It looks like Paris Hilton is giving Cousin Skeet some head.
I was just gonna say, what the shit? Oh my god! All right. Anyway, way to derail this already. This is going smooth. I look over, he's got frosting all over his face. I'm like trying to. So I'm just. That's what.
I didn't see you get there. Did you?
I didn't see it get there either. All right. Anyway, so they're driving up the back roads. They're going way out there. You set up camp. You get a scene, typical teenagers and stuff, whatever. They're drinking. They're tossing the football around. They're having fun. You see the kind of tension between Nick and Wade. We sense a little bit. Pretty much, you find out right here how Nick is a punk and he's had a bunch of different issues. They find out he stole a car and everything. And the scene goes on a little bit like typical slasher movie stuff. They're all having fun out there in the woods, and then all of a sudden a truck pulls up. Truck pulls up, high beams on them. They're all pissed. They're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" This truck is just blasting them with the lights. Nick's not having it. Nick just picks up right away, grabs his beer bottle, chucks the beer bottle, and blows out the guy's light. And they're all just standing there, and the truck just backs up and drives away. So there we go. That's gone. And throughout the scene, they go right back just to having fun. You see the friend Dalton's video record, recording everyone on his camera there. Then they all go to sleep. At night, you see someone's recording at night. You see someone's recording around. You see them. All of a sudden, Carly wakes up. She goes and looks around, doesn't see anything. Get a little jump scare when her boyfriend Wade comes out. She kind of bumps into him. They go back to bed. Whatever. Seems like a solid night, right?
Well, that one part, he did say, she's like, I hear something. He's like, probably a serial killer.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Just probably a serial killer. No big deal. Let's go back to bed. So then we got, did you gonna say something?
No, I was just carrying on.
Yeah, so we get the next morning. So you already see right away Dalton can't find his camera. So that's kind of weird. He's looking for the camera. And you see Wade with his car, and his car won't start, and his fan belt is completely cut. And then we see Carly and Paige walking around, and they smell something. They smelled something gross the night before as well. Absolutely disgusting. They want to know what this is, so they're walking around, and all of a sudden Carly falls down like this hill, and she just falls in this disgusting pit of death. There is just guts. There is just rotted deer. It is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, dead carcasses, and hands sticking up, which you think is real for a second. But I also want to just talk about the scene really fast. So years ago, I was a land surveyor, and we were surveying cranberry bogs and woods, and we smelled a smell so disgusting. To this day, I've never smelled anything worse. And me and the two guys that were out there, we had to stop everything, and we walked around, and we found this. There was an actual pit of death where the town takes all the roadkill and throws it in. And I stumbled across this in the woods, I mean, here in Massachusetts, there wasn't as many deer and everything thrown in where I was, but it was like dead raccoons in there, foxes, and I'm telling you, it was the worst smell. And this scene just reminds me of that, and I'll just never forget that smell. It stays with you.
Oh God.
So disgusting.
Mm.
But yeah, so she is in. It's just absolutely disgusting. Everyone comes running over, and they're going down there to help her. It is just absolutely disgusting. And all of a sudden, Crazy Hick pulls up with his truck, and he's got a dead deer carcass on it, and he chucks he throws the deer carcass in there, and they're all looking at him, and he's just talking about how he throws stuff in there, and he sees the hand. They're like pointing at the hand and everything, and he smiles, and he goes over and he grabs it, pulls it right up, and yeah, what did he say? Anybody need a hand?
Hey, say anybody need a hand?
I knew you'd be able to do the voice good. You nailed that, Hick. So.
That's right.
So right there, they're talking about the fan belt, what they should do. Fan belt's broken and everything, and they also need to go to the football game. So they decide right here that what the Hick says, he will drive them to Ambrose, a town near Ambrose, nearby town that has a fan belt at the gas station. And the others decide that they're going to continue on, and they haven't even got tickets to this game yet. So they're going to continue on, get their tickets. They said they're going to leave the tickets at will call. And Carly and Wade are going to go with this Hick. Seems like a solid idea. So then you get the scene that driving into town with this Hick, and just the truck looks disgusting, smells weird. You see his knife. You can tell like Carly's a little freaked out already. And
looking her up and down like an absolute fucking.
Oh yeah,
snack, dude. Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna do some things to you, girl.
Oh yeah, you
and
can tell he's definitely.
She's looking at her. She's looking at his knife, and he's like, "Oh, what? You're a fan of knives?"
It's a Bowie.
Yeah, he's got solid social skills. This guy has, and then they're driving, and he just all of a sudden slams on the brake, and they're starting panicking, like, "What the hell's going on?" Like. And he says, "Oh, I gotta switch over to some. What did he say? Something about he needs his 4-wheel drive or something.
Can you want to help me put this in 4-wheel drive?"
Yeah. Then the road's washed out. So yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry, the town's right around here. I forgot that it was washed out." And they're like, "No, we'll walk. We are gonna walk." And they start freaking out. So it's very awkward. They get out. They start walking away, and like Sean said, how this person was just staring up and down. They kind of look back, and the guy is still staring. And then Wade actually feels like a jerk because when he starts walking, all of a sudden the town is right there. So the guy was right. There really was the town right there. So this is the first time we see the town. You see the entering Ambrose sign, and they're walking through this town, and it's like it looks like a main street, like a strip of a town. They're looking at different things. They see you see the House of Wax. They get to the gas station, and there is nobody at the gas station.
Can I also just say that you can tell how old this movie was because the gas said it was $1.19. I just gotta.
Oh my God, you actually noticed that?
First thing, man.
You would notice something like that.
First thing, man.
Right? No, that is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so no one's at the gas station. They're walking around just kind of looking like, all right, like there's just nobody around. And then all of a sudden, they got a call real quick from Paige. You see them and all the others in traffic, and they're just not moving. They are pissed. They're like, what to do? Do we turn around? Do we just keep going? And they decide the traffic is just so out of control. So they turn around. So Paige calls them and says, "Hey, we're coming back to get you." And she tells her where to pick her up and everything. So they're on their way back. And Carly and Wade are looking where to go. And they see a church. So they're like, all right, we're going to go walk into the church. So they walk into the church, and it looks like there is a funeral going on. And you see this guy up there, a little prayer service and whatever, and they're like wicked embarrassed. So they walk out like, holy crap. And then all of a sudden, this guy just runs out there, super pissed off, like, why are you just walking in? We're on our funeral services here. And they say, oh, yeah, I want a fan belt. Oh, yeah, that's a good reason to interrupt my funeral for your fan belt. And he says how he's looking for Bo. Says, well, you found him. The guy disappears back in there for a couple seconds, comes back out, apologizes to them, and says, I'm sorry. Like, this is a funeral. I'll be right back in 30 minutes. And if you want to go to the gas station, and I will meet you there. So then we got this like, okay, anything you want to say so far, you guys?
Yeah, when they go into the church, I watched this movie twice. The first time I felt like when they walked into the church, everyone turned around to look at them. And then the second time I watched it, I like paid attention because obviously everyone's wet. No one turns around,
Yeah.
so it does a good job of like fucking with your mind.
It like feels
And
like
then-
it is.
Yeah,
100%.
I think Wade when they're outside and Wade's waiting and he goes to apologize and he's like, "Yeah, I just need a fan belt." I think that's the best line in the movie when he goes, "You interrupted a funeral for a fucking
For a
fan belt."
Fan belt, that is pretty awesome.
And I think honestly, one of the scariest parts of this movie is how they went into this obviously abandoned town and thought nothing of it.
Yeah, right? Like, I would have already been panicking. Like, yeah, you definitely got to suspend. I would have already been like, let's get the hell out of here.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Second
god.
I would have been like, "There's something not right in this town."
Right?
But do you guys want a fun fact real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit
Yeah.
us.
In that church scene, when they walk in and you see the pastor and he's got the Bible out in front of him and stuff, that's an actual real actor. They used him so you get the illusion of that it's real. And then when you see it later on in the movie, it looks 100% different because it is a wax figure.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because when you first see like that scene, like you said, like it looks, you do not think those people are wax. You really think like, what the, like they zoom in on that guy. You think he's 100% a real guy. But yeah, so anyway, so after that, they're like, all right, they got 30 minutes to kill. So they're walking around and we cut to a weird scene of a guy like sculpting a wax woman, and you don't know where this is or what's going on yet, and you just see this guy like molding this person out of wax, and then it cuts to Wade and Carly. They're walking around. The house of wax is closed, but they open the door and they're gonna go in, and you cut back to another scene where you see that guy, whoever this person is, like wax carving that woman up or waxing her, whatever you want to call that. You see he hears her and it kind of just like stops, and then we just get our first look of inside the wax museum.
Just real quick, bro,
Yeah.
when he was carving that girl,
Yeah,
bro, them titties was on point.
Ooh,
I was waiting for
honestly,
you guys to say
it
something.
it looked like it was super cold in that place.
Oh my
Those
god,
fucking nipples, man.
he was
has
very
some-
Oh, he's felt a few.
no, he's very attentive to detail. I'll say that he was
Can I
very
throw
detail
one more,
oriented.
Yeah, I think
But I-
one of the facts is they actually used Paris Hilton's tits for that scene.
No.
All right, so getting back on track here. So
One quick fun fact.
go for it.
The girl that he's actually carving
Mhm.
is the girl from the alternate opening on the DVD. There's an alternate opening where a girl wanders into town looking for help, and that's her.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So instead of the two kids in the beginning, it's a scene with a woman going to the town looking for help, and that woman is who he's carving in the wax figure.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool. So we get our first scene of the wax museum. They're looking around trying to say like, hey, like, aren't these people supposed to be famous? And there's all these newspaper clippings of Trudy's, the wax museum. They're like, why is like Trudy like the main star? And they don't recognize anything. And this place is super creepy. And they're walking around, and we get a cool little jump scare with a dog. They see a dog, and he walks over. He's like, oh, yeah, look, well, I got a dog for you. And all of a sudden, the dog barks and moves, and holy crap, like that.
Dude.
The first time, I've seen this a million times. The first time I saw that, that actually, like, that jump scare got me.
That dog must have gotten paid a lot of money. I mean, it was great right there, just standing
Right?
still. Oh my god.
So good. And then they're looking around. They're taking everything in, and then we cut basically the next thing that happens is Carly, this dusty mirror, she kind of like dusts off the mirror and looks, and you see this creepy looking guy, creepy face in the mirror. Another awesome jump scare real fast, and she screams, and Wade goes out and like he's looking around for it, and he leaves her alone, and it just gets very creepy. She's walking around and everything, and you see just it's the creepiest scenes of wax, and they're freaked out, and you see Wade like, hey, no one's out here, bangs on the window. So they go out of the wax museum. Then we cut real quick to the campsite scene where we just see Blake.
Can we talk about real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, I would be so fucking pissed if I'm Carly. Like, Wade is the worst fucking child in this entire movie. Like, you go into every place that has either a closed sign or the door's closed, and obviously the business like owner isn't there. Like, you just wander around like you own this fucking town.
Right.
You go into the wax museum that clearly has a closed sign on the front door, and then you proceed to walk around and confirm the fact by taking a fucking lighter and holding it to everything. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, this guy is ridiculous.
Oh gosh.
Like, no wonder why it was like, yeah, this was my first victim, you fucking cuck.
Right?
Yeah,
like this guy's gonna, like, this guy's an idiot.
Especially when he goes in the looking for the belts in the place, and then he's like, "Oh, you're just going into here? Oh, we went inside the wax museum too."
Right? Oh my
I
god.
mean, yeah, we'll get into that belt scene. Justin, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So anyway, you got a 2-second scene really quick. You just cut back to the other to the campsite where they cut back, and you see Blake makes Dalton and Nick and Dalton are like taking a piss, and like Blake like goes up to him. Sean, I see you dying laughing. You want to take it over? Say the scene. Go for it.
So Blake and Dalton are standing at the tree and they're pissing together. Obviously, crossing streams, staring at each other's dick, yada yada yada. And cousin Skeet walks over and he puts his hand on both of them and goes, "Hey, you guys gonna fuck?" And they look at each other and go, "No." And he goes, "Well, we are. So why don't you go into town and pick them up?"
So I knew you were gonna love that scene. No, that's why I was like, you know what, Sean, take it away there.
This is part of my theory on why Dalton and dude. What the hell are their names again?
Nick, Dalton, Wade.
Nick and Dalton.
Yeah.
This is my theory. Nick and Dalton are gay.
I could see it.
Why
Dude.
the session over that video camera? Because there's some kind of sexual activity between the two of them on there. They cross streams. They play with each other. They fall for each other. Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
All right,
dude. Even in the other scene when he finds him, dude, he tears almost.
I mean, I would be sad if my friend died too. There's some wild shit that's being speculated right now. What is? All right. So
movie. Pay attention to those two, and I guarantee you, there's a
oh yeah, there's a
guys
dog
hiding it.
I don't know. I felt weirder between like the brother and sister. I don't know. I felt weirder between like
dude,
Nick.
that too.
That I felt weirder about.
There was definitely
between those two.
There was definitely some banjo playing going on in that scene.
Yeah, no lie. All right. So anyway, where are we? So all right. So they go to the gas station looking for the fan belts, and of course, Bo comes back right again when they're already in there, and he has the fan belt in his hand, and basically says like, "What are you just gonna steal that?" And he says, "No, I left money up there." He's like, "Oh yeah, just walking into every single place here," and he basically tells him, "Oh, I don't have the 15-inch fan belt here. I have it at my house." And he's a little kind of weird. He's like, "You keep a fan belt at his house." Explained why. And he says, "Yeah, let's just go down there and you can use the bathroom at my house." And they start walking to Bo's house. And you get a little bit of a backstory here. They're kind of asking like, because in the wax museum, they saw the name Vincent everywhere and Trudy. So they started asking him like, who's this Trudy person? And says how Trudy was the artist, local artist. She loved the wax museum. She moved here with her husband, who was like kicked out of like weird medical practices.
Yeah, he got kicked out. Like he got shamed for like a surgery he performed.
Yeah,
and just ran out of town because it was so horrific.
Yeah, and he goes on to say how basically Trudy had a cyst and she went crazy, and the father like killed himself. And that Vincent was one of the sons. They had kids that ended up in foster care. So you get they're walking up to the house right now, and you get a little bit of backstory of what is going on. And then they get to their house, and Wade goes in the house to use the bathroom. Bo goes in there. Kylie stays at the car. And really fast, you have another quick scene where you just see Nick and Dalton driving, and they're driving, and you see them how they say, you get a little more of some storyline here. Basically, Nick stole a car and went to jail for it or something, and it turns out
he goes, he told me I could drive the truck, and he's like, that's because he doesn't know you stole the car and crashed it. And he was like, man, you didn't have to take that fall for me. And he drops a line like, your coat's still clean, mine's got plenty of stains on it.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool. You know what I mean? It was solid. You don't see many people willing to do that for each other, especially in like a group of friends. A lot of the times when shit hits the fan, it's like, no, he did it.
Yeah, right.
It's because he loves him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, dude.
Well, there you go. Anyway, they're driving, and basically you hear him say like, where the hell is this place? Like, this town's not even in the GPS. So they really want to show you like this place is like hard to find. And then we're right back to the house, and things are starting to get creepy now. So we're at like the 45-minute mark of the movie, and this house is creepy. This is straight like Texas Chain. This reminded me of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre house.
Oh yeah.
There is like creepy mask in this house. There's little animals in jars. you see the surgery tools, just the restraints. I mean, you see this place is so creepy. And Wade's up there looking around. He's supposed to go to the bathroom, but I mean, he's looking once again because Wade, he's got to play with everything. He can't just go to the bathroom and get the hell out of there. He's just going everywhere. And we flashback. Well, I mean, we show outside and we see Carly, and she's looking at the truck of Bo's truck. And what do you know? The broken light is on his truck from the night before. That she realizes, holy crap, this is the trunk. Freaks out. She is honking the horn, and all of a sudden you flash back to Wade, and then all of a sudden the lights just go out, and he hears the horn. The lights go out in the house. He is freaking out trying to open this door. Behind him, you see like a trap door, and just this creepy looking guy with a creepy face, long black hair.
It's Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. he crawls out of this thing with scissors, and he reaches to his ankle. It cuts his like Achilles. Oh,
that's literally the worst.
That's like, could you even imagine?
It brought me right to the Hostel movie when he did that at the beginning. Oh, God.
I thought of that scene right away too, like the Hostel scene, like just nasty. So I mean, poor Wade, he's screaming.
Separate the Achilles, right? Your Achilles is essentially like a rubber band muscle that stretches from the heel of your foot all the way up to your ass.
Everywhere, the whole.
It like snaps back.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't even walk.
Walking is gone.
There's a reason why, like, if you watch like any kind of like sporting films or something, and you see these players like tear it, and it's close enough. Like we've seen the backup running back for the Chicago Bears a couple of seasons ago was doing a workout video, and he tore it mid-video, and it literally all you heard was and just him keel over, and I was like, oh my God, I've never heard that before in my life, and I never want to hear it again.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt that. Never mind have someone cut it with fucking scissors.
I feel like that'd be the worst possible pain.
Like worse, that scene right there. Like this movie has some awesome like gore and for like a goofy 2005 movie. There's some awesome shit here, and that scene was tough to watch. And poor Wade is struggling after that. I mean, the dude, like you said, I mean, he can't even like walk, and all of a sudden, just this guy, boom, runs over to him, stab. He gets him. And
he does precision cuts too. Like he takes out his Achilles, so he can't move around. He's starting to bleed out.
Yeah.
And then he gets him right under the rib cage.
Yeah, he
which
gets
is like a fatal stab. And
yeah, nasty. He got messed up in that scene. That I felt so bad for him. And then it shows Carly outside. She's freaking out. She is calling Paige. No one is answering. She's panicking. And then all of a sudden, Bo just casually comes out of the house. And she freaks out. So she jumps into his truck, locks the doors. He's yelling at her like, let me out, let me in. Like, I'll call the cops, all this stuff. And she basically starts driving the truck away. She does not get very far at all. The truck gets stuck, and she runs away. And
horror.
Yeah, exactly. Truck gets stuck. Obviously, something was going to happen. She runs away. And then we cut back to a scene. This next scene is poor Wade. He is like all restraint on something. He is getting injected. He is getting stitched up. He is getting prepped for something. This poor dude's got like jigsaw mask.
Yeah, like on his face with the pins and shit, like to stay still.
Yeah, and they show him just getting sprayed and just covered in wax, like just absolute insane scene of him just being absolutely just covered and just sprayed and crazy.
And all while this was happening, Paris Hilton was making her second sex tape.
I know, right? She's out there getting lucky, and Mr. Padalecki is strapped down, and instead of giving him like, I don't know, like a numbing shot or something, it's like a pure paralytic that they shot into his neck.
Yeah. And
he's paralyzed. He can't move, but he can feel everything.
That's the thing. You see that he's alive. Yeah, it's rough because, like you said, you see he is alive and everything, and that is messed up.
Grudge with him. Come into my wax museum with the lighter, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, right? Seriously. So this is just a lesson. If anyone, honestly, it's a valuable life lesson. If you go into a wax museum, do not mess around. Keep your lighters at home. So basically now Carly runs through the town, and as she's like running through this, it's dark now. She's running through the town. All like the lights are like switching on. super creepy and weird. You see this place is like completely abandoned. So she goes, oh, you know what? Like you can tell her thinking, she runs to the church. So she is running to the church and she is looking and like, holy crap, like every single person in this church is wax. And you see, she runs up to like, you see the pamphlets and it says like Trudy. So you basically see like Trudy laying in there. The pastor, like Sean talked about earlier, the priest or whatever he is completely waxed. And she is freaking out. She's running around and she knocks one of the people's arms off. And that's a pretty gross scene. Like she knocks the arm off. You think it's just gonna be wax, but you see like the gore and like the blood and like
veins and everything. Like
it was a real person. So like that is super creepy. And then all of a sudden you see Bo run in, and at this point Carly's hiding, and you see Bo like go up to Trudy, and you hear him saying like, "Sorry, Mama." Like there's no respect to something. I don't know. You hear him.
Had no respect anymore. And as he's saying that, I don't know if you caught it, but he was actually looking in the casket to see if she was hiding in there.
Yeah. He's looking around for her and everything, and he ends up finding her, and she was like hiding underneath like the priest or something. I don't know. She was hiding in there. He ends up finding her, and then all of a sudden we cut to a scene where we see Nick and Dalton arrive at the washed up road. So they're getting close. So all of a sudden they pull up, they start to walk. And then we cut right back to Bo bringing Carly into the gas station as a Marilyn Manson song is playing. And he straps her into the chair. He is tying her up, duct taping her. And when she is, do you guys notice that like when he like duct tapes her and stuff, do you notice his wrist? Like you see like his wrist, like the wrist.
So that was the same thing.
Like the bad kid, not Vincent.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they're both pieces of shit, but
yeah, right. Yeah, so that was a really cool scene because, like I said, the flashback scene in the very beginning of the movie, you saw like the kid's wrist being all like being taped up and everything, and they show his wrist when he's taping her up, and like you said, you see he was the bad kid and everything in there, and then you get a flashback. So while this is happening to her, you see Nick and Dalton outside again. They're talking like where they should go and everything, and they end up splitting up. So they split up, go walking around. So they're outside walking around the town. Then we cut back to Carly, and he grabs super glue, and he is like super gluing her mouth shut. And
I got so much anxiety from that part too. That just like just having that happen.
Right, like there's some like this for this movie being goofy, like there's some badass stuff in this, and like you said, it was seriously just watching that. Like imagine that happening.
She requested that they use real glue.
Shut up.
No,
I swear to God, they were in an interview, and it's not super glue; it's just glue. But she asked for real glue. She was she's kind of
like Elmer's type of
stuff,
so it makes
she
sense.
asked them to put on real glue, so when it's separated, that's real.
Wow.
Oh, I did not. Crazy. Yeah. So the separating scene we'll get to in a minute. So basically, so her mouth is super glued shut. Bo walks out of the gas station, and all of a sudden, Nick's walking around there. So he's like, sees him. So he's like, yo, looking for my sister. Like, you see my sister or whatever? And he's like, nah, just so casually, like, no, I haven't seen her. And he's like, oh, this is the only gas station in town. Said she's going to be at the gas station. And like, guy's just like, no. And at this point, she's like underground of like the gas station, like the basement, I guess, of the gas station. And there is a, what is it? Like oh my God.
Like a drainage ditch.
Drainage vent.
And like this is like a drainage thing. So while you see them talking up there, you see her like struggling to get up there, and she's like trying to like she's gonna put her finger through the drain pipes. Oh God, right? So she puts her finger through this drain pipe to try to like wiggle the finger around, and you see Bo looking at it, and he's still talking to Nick, and he kind of walks over like he's just gonna tie his shoe, and he walks over and kind of like bends down to tie his shoe. And he takes out clippers, and oh God, her finger's sticking out.
They were like bolt clippers.
Yeah, like he cuts her finger off. Like this poor girl's got her mouth.
He puts it in his pocket. Like he's
that I felt that, man. Like that hurt me.
Me too. Like this scene, like that's always stuck with me. And like Sean said, he just like takes it and like puts it in her pocket and like talking to like Nick like no big deal, whatever.
I'll save that one for later.
And then basically, so like Nick and Bo like almost start to like walk away, and all of a sudden you see Carly her hand is dripping blood at this point, and she's pulling at her lips, and they're like disgusting. It's separating. There's blood dripping down because she's missing a friggin' finger, and she's pulling her mouth out just to yell. And like she yells Nick or something, and then right away, the second Nick hears this right away, and like he turns to fight, and Bo is ready. So they got a fist fight going on right away. Bo had like, I don't know, tried hitting him with, what do you have?
Yeah, it was like a screwdriver. He dodged that thing like. God,
yes,
be a boxer.
Yeah. So, but what do you guys feel about those scenes there? There's some good crazy shit going on right there.
Yeah, that was some of the best things that fucked with me right there in this one scene. Just the lips thing, and then the finger.
Right.
Yeah. Nope.
I when he's got her down there and he's like taping her up on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice that he had a wall of pictures?
Yes.
So he's done this shit before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the way he was like mounting her and stuff, it wasn't to make her a wax figure.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude, like that was his sex dungeon, and that was some creepy ass shit. And I'm so fucking glad he gets what's coming to him.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, dude, like when she sticks her finger up and he clips it.
Oh.
Like the only thing I could think about is like y'all had to do it this way. Like who the fuck is talking to you face to face, and then does a 180 and bends down to tie their shoe?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, make it so, like, oh, he dropped something and he turned around and clipped it real quick. Like, the whole tying the shoe and then having to, like, Like,
yes.
like, make it a little more believable, guys. Come on.
Right? So shady. Yeah, I'm going to tie my shoe. Guys starts twirling around and, like, bending down and, like, looking over his shoulder. Yeah.
And then he's with them, like, playing whack-a-mole, waiting for a finger to come up in the right spot.
Right? Oh, man.
But, like, when they start fighting, dude, like, you can tell, like, her brother's been through some shit. Because, like, obviously, when you move like that against, like, a natural killer, like,
right.
you've got some skills in your chest.
Yeah, no, he did not hesitate. So, anyway, you got them fighting, but then you cut to Dalton is still out there looking around. So, they give you a Dalton scene. And Dalton enters the wax museum. And he's looking around, calling out in the wax museum, trying to figure out if anyone is there. And then all of a sudden he comes to, he's looking around, and you see Wade. There is Wade sitting at a piano. And it's to the point where Dalton's
Silly
like,
goose, what are you doing over there, Wade?
Right? Yeah, he's like, yo, like, Wade, let's go. Like, what are you doing? And you look, and you're like, oh, my God, like, Wade is not moving. And you see he's like, you can see his eyes, like, he's still there. Like, he's, like, looking around, panicking. And Dalton goes up and is like talking to him. He like pokes his cheek, and like his finger goes like into his face. You see it like smudge. Oh, it's so nasty.
God, dude.
And his face like starts to peel a little. And you see him like, oh my God, no. Yeah, he's like, I'm so sorry. And he like goes to touch his face, and like it starts like falling off. Like just like
let me get you out of here.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here. And he's like touching his face.
He kept peeling it off. Like,
the worst.
Stop, bro. Like, he's crying in this
Literally.
You're peeling his face off. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Wicked creepy scene, because as Sean said, like, as this is happening, there is a tear going down his eye. And then as all this has happened, I thought they shot this really cool. All of a sudden you see, like, the creepy guy, which is Vincent, like, runs to attack Dalton. But, like, as he does it, you see, like, the reflection of in Wade's eye of Vincent like coming in and attacking Dalton. And as he swings at him, you see Wade's cheek, the whole cheek just falls off, and you see all the gore, the inside.
Oh, God. Just all the
like, that was a great shot.
Like
that's the thing. This scene was
an awesome scene.
That scene was so badass. And then Dalton starts to fight with Vincent. Not much of a fight, but Dalton ends up like falling down the stairs, and Vincent has his two.
Down the stairs.
Like, yeah, he has those two crazy knives, and he basically just walks right up to Dalton and just like,
boom.
Just both of them right to the neck, and he pins him to the ground, and this thing's across his like and his neck, and you see Vincent go to grab him by his feet and like drag his body, and this dude gets decapitated. He just drags his body away from his head.
Dude, that was a crazy fucking kill, dude. Just the like. Using the two knives as a scissor just to decapitate him like that. Oh.
Did you notice that the knives, that one of them was like the head of a dragon and the other one was the tail?
I did notice a little bit of the.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what that was badass. Whatever the weapons were. Oh yeah, so crazy. So this movie's got some awesome scenes in it. So whatever. So then you cut to Carly and Nick real fast in town, and they're running now away from Bo, and basically Carly's like explaining like, holy crap, like they're all wax. Like every single person at the church is wax, saying how like everyone at the house, the wax museum, like everyone in the town is wax. But she saw a woman when they first went into town, they saw like a woman like look out the window. So they're looking in that house real fast, and Nick like goes up there, and all of a sudden like you see the window open, like the shade moves, sorry, and there's like a woman right there, and he's like, "You mean to tell me like she's wax?" And you see this woman is like rigged up, so she like moves like the thing and like looks out, and it's so creepy. He comes face to face to her, and he's like, "You mean to tell me like that is a person in there?" And she basically go and explain to like, "Yes, like this whole town is wax." And then we get a cut scene back to the campsite now, and it is Blake and Paris, a Paige, and it is sexy time, and they are in the tent. I mean, I feel like I should almost just kick this to like one on YouTube right away. I feel like you and what about you ready for the scene?
I was ready for it, man.
3 nights in Paris. What a long weekend.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
She oh my god, she did not choke on her lines one bit.
Okay.
Guys, I'll like people like trash on Paris Hilton. I think she crushed this movie.
She did.
She is smart and she pays attention to her surroundings. Like there's certain moves that she makes throughout this movie. Like when they find like the pit of death, and she's like, "Oh, what is that smell?" And you hear Carly go, "I want to find it," and she goes, "Why would you want to find that?" Like, no.
Right.
And you know, this wasn't Paris Hilton's first horror film either. This was actually her second. And her first one was 9 Lives in 2002, which I don't think I've seen, but
yeah, I've
just a little
seen
fun
that.
fact.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't know what it's about. Though.
Yeah. So they're in the tent with Blake, and she's doing a little strip scene for him and everything, and they're getting ready to have fun. And they listen to some kind of music. All of a sudden, the music cuts off, and Blake's like, "What the hell is going on with the music?" So he goes out to check, and his cell phone's out there. He listens to the message from Carly, and realizes like, holy shit, like they're in trouble. So he goes out there, and then it's kind of weird. Like, you cut back to Paige in the tent. It's like she just went to sleep or something in a couple. Like she just like all of a sudden she like wakes. She kind of just comes to like, wait, where are you, Blake? And all of a sudden Vincent is burst through the friggin' tent, and all of a sudden she panics, she runs out, you run out, and you see Blake dead with a knife in his right in his neck. Yeah. And she runs away, and as Vincent chases her, I forget if he steps on her or kicks it, but he like steps in the knife, and the knife goes all the way in.
And it's like a half decapitation type.
Yeah, so like never mind, now you have like a half decapitation scene. And she ends up running through the woods, and there's like, what is that, like a garage or something that's like out there or something? She's like, ends up in this garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is being chased through Vincent through this garage. I mean, this guy is trying to like knife her, get her in the feet when she's running there. That she's running. She is hiding in cars. She is hiding behind cars.
It's basically a place where they had like all the victims that they had all their stuff that they store in there from all the victims.
Yeah, you see, there's a bunch of different cars in the
cell phones, the cars, everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, she sees the cell phones. There's cars everywhere, kind of setting up like, holy crap, like these guys have been doing this for like a long time, and this is clearly where they keep all that stuff. And so as they're chasing her, she eventually gets behind like a car, and she looks up through the window. And what do you even want to call it? What does Vincent even have? What is that thing?
It's I don't even like a I don't even know.
So basically, he such a badass scene. She looks up through the window, and he takes
like a pole.
You're talking about
the pole, whatever.
It's a railing. At the beginning of the scene, you see Paris Hilton grab onto a railing as she's going up the stairs.
That's what it was. It was a railing.
Rips it off.
The pole off. That's why one side is like really
it's
sharp.
pointed. And this dude, like, I don't know if he was like a star athlete or something, but he throws this thing like a javelin through both the car windows, hits it directly in the middle of the head.
Bro.
Goes right through her head, and so like she falls like forward and is like leaning on the pole as you see like the blood drip down, and she's just on her knees. Oh god, I said all right.
You know what's perfect about this scene
is that gives her the pipe and she gets it right in the head.
Dear God.
And I was gonna say though, you know, like how you were saying, like an athlete, he throws that like a javelin, like an Olympic athlete. The only thing it was missing was clapping, but it turns out numerous reports of crowds were cheering when she was killed, which is amazing.
what's also amazing about that is I didn't know that was like reported because you told me that before we went on air here, and I saw this movie on literally opening weekend. I was like super excited for this in 2000, however old I was at the time, and never mind. I think I was like hammered in the movie theater, like I was like young, and the place was packed, and it was so rowdy, and my theater went nuts. I remember the whole entire thing was cheering. It was one of the funnest experiences I've ever had in a movie theater. So I can't believe, like you said, that that's like in notes somewhere that happened, because I can 100% tell you it happened.
Because they got to see her fucked and it was free.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna bring up the fact that like this scene pokes fun at One Night in Paris again.
That.
While she's like on her knees with Pipe.
Yeah.
He grabs the fucking camera and we see like that shitty like digital fucking feedback type loop thing, and that's like mimics the scenes of her giving head in One Night in Paris.
Yeah, no, insane they did that, and just insane that they really, like, I was at the theater and it was a wild scene when that actually happened.
I'd say they did Paris dirty in this movie, but she was 100% on board with just taking the marketing and like the plagiarism, like not plagiarism, but like playing on her unfortunate series with that, release of her film, but like just to play on it and then use this movie to like rebound from it and stuff. Props to her, dude, for like, being able to not take a joke, because something like that isn't a joke, but props to her for being able to spin it in a good way.
Yeah, to the town now, when we see Kylie and Nick looking at like what shop that has like crossbow and like weapons in the window or whatever. So and Nick's got a wrench, throws the wrench through, grabs a badass weapon. He gets a crossbow. As soon as he gets a crossbow, all of a sudden Bo emerges with the shotgun. He is firing at them. They run and they head into a movie theater. Once again, the imagery of this movie is kind of badass. Like, I love just the scene because they go into a movie theater, which, again, obviously all the people in there are wax people. So it's just super creepy because it's abandoned. And this whole town is rigged up with, like, the lights and everything. Awesome movie theater scene. They run in there. There's a crowd and everything of just all wax people. You see Carly literally just hiding in, blending with them. You see Bo walking around with the shotgun. He's in the front of the movie theater, so he turns around so he can, like, look at everyone. And he sees Carly. And he blasts the shotgun, and this is really cool. You see Kylie duck and just blast the head off of the wax person behind her. And as you saw earlier with like when the arm went off, like you just see inside the person's head, like, holy crap, like these really are.
You hear the splat.
Yeah, then once again nasty, just splat. But after he shoots that on, Nick shoots him in the arm with a crossbow, and then they run away. So now he's got an arrow in his arm, and as they're running away, we get another cool shot. Bo shoots again and hits another guy in the head. And
the worker.
You hear poof.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, this is an old one because it's, like, dusty, and then like bugs start crawling
That
out.
Was a cool thing. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, that one's been for a while. Like you said, like, you see the gross maggots or whatever it is. So that's really badass. And then
you guys listen to the song she was singing in the theater? She gives us a shout-out.
But
At some point in that song, she's talking about writing a letter to Daddy. And she goes, and the postman says I should put kisses because they're better than stamps.
Oh, I missed that. A little post office shout out. Let's go.
Whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bo runs out of that movie theater, and they are ready for him. And he gets an arrow right in the chest. Boom. Good night, Bo. Bo is lying down there with an arrow in the chest. Oh, God, that scene just... You think you have them, for the love of God, like, they clearly did not watch Scream. Like, they should have watched Scream and the rules of a horror movie.
Always come back.
They all, like, that scene killed me. I'm like, for the love of God, like, don't you remember Randy's rules?
Dude, double tap, bro.
Double tap, like, for the love of God, he's just, they should have killed him right there. So anyway, so Bo is, they think he's dead. So they're off, and they're realizing, like, all right, we got to get the hell out of here. But she's like, well, we still got to find Wade. So last time he knows, he went into the house. So they head to his house and they're looking for Wade. While they're in there, they're looking for the house, and they see like pictures of like Bo and Vincent as kids. You see like newspaper clippings and stuff. It says like Siamese twins separated. So they're looking at like all that stuff. Carly has a baseball bat. She's looking around. Nick's in another room, looking around, just looking for him. And then all of a sudden, you see Bo come back. There he is. He comes back. He's got the arrows in him. He's at the sink. He rips one out of his arm. he clips it off of his chest. So he's banged up, but he is still going. As that is happening, all of a sudden, like you see Kylie, she's hiding with a bat, and she looks out the window, and all of a sudden, Vincent pulls up in the truck, and you see Paige and Blake's body in the back of the truck. So it's starting to get real again. And Bo and Vincent are kind of talking to each other. Bo's kind of yelling at Vincent and whatever. And Bo's walking around, and looks on the ground, and he sees that there's a picture is out, and he's like, oh shit, like something's out here. And Nick finds the trap door in the basement and grabs Carly. So they run down to the trap door. While they're down there, they're trying to turn on the lights, and they're hitting this is really cool. They're hitting like tons of switches and everything. And as they're hitting all these switches, like they show us the town, and the town is all
Dude,
the whole town.
How are they paying this electric bill?
Right?
That's kind of crazy.
So they have the whole entire town rigged up and controlled from this house, which is kind of explains why they could just turn how no one could see this from night, like this town and stuff. I guess they could just like turn off the lights and like, I guess, hide and everything. So, but obviously when they're hitting those lights, obviously Bo and Vincent can see that the whole entire freaking town's lighting up and turning off and ever. So he kind of smiles like, oh shit, yep, I know where they are. So they're down there, and when they're running around, you see Dalton's hat, and they're running around, and then all of a sudden they look and they see Dalton sitting down in whatever you want to call the sprayer machine. He is got the jigsaw head cage thing on. He is like all prepped and everything, just turning into wax. And Nick goes over like, oh my God. And he like grabs his head and is like, kind of like just shakes his head, and his friggin' head detaches.
Oh, dude.
Oh man, like
this further drives my point of like there was a relationship between the two, because you can't tell me he knew that was Dalton by all that wax. Like the only way he knew that was Dalton was by his eyes.
He looked right into those blue eyes, and he was just like, "That's."
You guys are my buddies, but if you're fully covered in something, and the only thing I can see is your eyes, I'm not gonna know it's you.
I mean, I get it. It's interesting. No, it's interesting, but I mean, if I
that too, and the way he reacted, like he's seeing everyone else dead, no fucks given.
No
you know, oh damn, they're dead, man. He sees Dalton, breaks his heart. Guy fucking loses it.
The guy's a hard ass, and he sees Dalton, and he breaks down. Justin.
All right, I'm just gonna put you on the spot right now. You see me covered in wax and dead. You're not a little emotional? Like I don't mean anything to you guys. Let's talk about this.
Emotional, but I'm not crying. Like I lost the love of my life.
No, I get it, because I mean, you guys are decent. I clearly don't love either one of you, but I'm just sorry. What are we even talking about? But I'm saying, if I see you covered in wax, like that's like you're a person.
Well, no, hold on a second. But you wouldn't want to see us covered in wax? That's not like a kink shame, is it?
That's fine for people if you want to get covered in wax, that's what are we even doing here? If you're into that, that's cool. But all right. So anyway, what the hell just happened? So Vincent, all of a sudden, after that happens, Vincent runs in with his samurai knives, and he starts a fist fight starts happening right now. And all of a sudden, there's like, what is that pot of? Like just more like wax or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much just wax.
Yeah. So all the hot wax is spilling, and it lights a fire. So the room just starts getting engulfed in fire right there. And basically they're running. And as they're running out of this room, you do see Wade. And I get it. He doesn't react as bad as when he sees Wade, but they're also being chased at this point, and the building is starting on fire. So, I mean, they basically have to keep on going. They see poor Wade dead there.
Why? Because she loves her brother.
So they're going to keep... They keep going, and then Bo runs.
She's mad that he was with Dalton, so that's why they had that conflict at the beginning.
Yeah, are you pretending to be someone you're not?
Oh my God. Yes. So fire is spreading like
shadowing.
But for House of Wax, there is incest, there is cheating.
What a way to pitch it! There is incest. No, I feel like some of the scenes of like I have two sisters, and like I 100% love my sisters. But when I talk to them, I've never like how Nick talks to her a few scenes. He's like getting right in her face and like putting his arm like right up against her, and he's like just really. I've like never talked to them like that. Like just like
Sean, I don't know if you remember this, but when Cody was there at work and he would talk about Justin's sister and how mad Justin would get, it was like a little sus. I don't know.
I can't relate, Justin, but I mean, if Cody was talking that way about, I've got 2 older brothers.
yeah.
If he was talking that way about my older brothers, I'd be like, no.
I mean, I feel like it's a little inappropriate. The supervisor shouldn't be in love with someone's sister, right? Oh my God! Now my sister's gonna see this and be like, "What? His supervisor loves me? Where are we even going with this podcast? This is so off the rails."
What's that song you used to play, Justin?
I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, he used to play the Sister Lover song.
It says,
I'm in love with your sister.
want it.
Oh dear. So anyway, at this point, I don't even know where the hell we are. There's like fire burning and shit like that. And Bo's running in, and there's a fist fight, and he stabs Nick in the leg very bad. As that's happening, Carly runs in to avenge her brother, because that's what siblings do. And she takes the baseball bat. She is just smashing away, friggin', just smashing his face in with the baseball bat. And Vincent runs in, all very pissed, very sad, as he's holding Bo, who's just got his face smashed in by Carly. And Carly runs up the staircase as Vincent chases, and we basically see, at this point, it's pretty badass. You see Bo like melting into the floor as you see Nick there, and he's like, he just got stabbed in the leg bad. So I mean, he realizes like he's got to get up and move, because at this point the floors are caving in. You get shots. Every single thing is
cool, dude.
This is like the ending of this movie, so badass. Everything is melting, like people's faces are melting off. You can see the staircase, like as like she ran up it and Vince is going, like the staircase is like starting to get like goopy, and basically you see Nick like all his might like just staggering up there, and he's going so slow.
Nick is trying so hard to get Vincent to come like fight with him, and I don't know if you got this feeling, but Vincent kind of gave him a look like, nah, bitch, you got a knife in your leg. Fuck you, knife ass.
Right.
Yeah, he did not care. He was going straight up after her, and like you said, like poor Nick's like barely, like he is struggling to get up there. And then we basically cut to Kylie. She gets in, like closes the door. She's in like a wax like bedroom, and everything's still melting. And this is a really cool scene how she like shuts the door in there and everything. And all of a sudden you see Vincent like almost like a Here's Johnny moment, but he takes his knife and he like slices the wall. And inside on her side of the wall, there's like 2 Siamese, like
so cool how
twins, and that are in wax. And his knife, he cuts them in half, like so cool.
Separate the twins.
Yeah, separates the twins.
Is how him and his brother was separated.
Yeah, exactly. So it was so cool and playing on what actually happened to him and his brother. And then he literally like peels the door through, like almost like a Here's Johnny moment or whatever, to go fight with Carly. And as she's fighting with Carly, Nick, they show back Nick. Nick is getting up the stairs, and at this point, it is just the fire is getting absolutely out of control. I mean, the staircase is literally starting to fall apart now. So he just makes it up there to start fighting with Vincent. He starts fighting with Vincent, and Vincent, I believe, is getting the best out of him. He throws him on a bed, like the bed of wax, and Vincent is like on top of him, and like he's like almost like stabbing him in the face, and he's screaming for help because like his leg's all busted. Carly runs right back in, and it's pretty badass. She actually grabs the knife out of Nick's leg, pulls it out of his leg, and goes to stab him in the face. And she's almost thrown off because he like turns and like looks at her, and she like looks at and sees like his creepy face or whatever. And he's like yelling like, do it. And like, she stabs. Yeah, she stabs Vincent. I don't know. What do you guys think about that scene? Loving it?
That was crazy. Like,
dude, this is the smart move. Carly takes the knife out of Nick to finish the job and protect herself and her brother.
Yep.
When Paris runs out of the tent and we see Cousin Skeet with the knife in his neck, that motherfucker's dead. Yeah, he may still be alive right now, but he is dead. You take that knife and you defend yourself. And instead, we get Vincent walk by and just kick the knife further into his neck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these are the choices you need to make in order to survive a horror movie.
Exactly. No, absolute badass display with her. And then like after that happens, pretty much the room now is like all wax. Like they all fall through the floor. And it's pretty badass. They show when Vincent falls through, he lands on top of Bo, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
and it makes it like it looks like they're Siamese twins again.
oh yes.
They land the exact way they were separated.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah, it was
So
that.
good.
Yeah, cool little things like
Corey
that.
Feldman played that part so good.
Yeah, cool things like that. Like they fall through, and basically it shows Carly and they fall through, and at this point it is like sheer panic because it shows Bo and Vincent. They're already melting through the floor. At this point, everything it's like turning into a pit. Everything is just melting apart. So they're running like what do we do? What do we do? And they're like against the wall. She's like, oh, the walls. And they start like digging at the wall. And as this happens, it's like the fire is getting closer and closer, and they're gonna fall through the wall. They literally dig through the wall and come out the other side through the House of Wax sign right over here. And that's pretty cool. Like it's an awesome shot because they come through the other side as like the whole wax museum just burns and just goes down to the ground. And I thought that looked really, really badass, the whole end of the movie there. Oh, yeah. And then so now we're pretty much at the end. You cut to like morning time, and all of a sudden the whole entire town, there's just cops everywhere. And you hear the cops like talking to each other, Kylie basically goes like, how does anyone know this like isn't here? And they basically talk about how the town's been abandoned for 10 years and it's super hard to get to. It's not, they say how it's not on the map anymore. And they talk about like,
he says like, if there wasn't a fire, we wouldn't have known.
We wouldn't even know. Yep. So it makes you just show how they just like hid this forever, and how, and they basically reference like they talk about like the garage earlier. They had like all the phones and cars, and they're like, oh my god, like they've been pulling people off the interstate for years.
10 years.
Yeah, for 10 years they've just been picking people off and just growing this insane town. And you see them and say, oh yeah, we found like Dalton's camera, and Nick really wants that. And
yep,
they cut. They cut to an ambulance, and oh god, in the ambulance, Carly and Nick are driving up. They're driving away, and Nick did steal. I can't even handle this. Nick did steal the camera, so Nick has the camera, and he's very excited. He wants the memories, bro. And as they're driving away, all of a sudden, like you hear him radio to the cop. One of the cops radio, like, wait, like Trudy didn't have two sons. And he's like, wait, what? And he's like, they had 3. And you get that bombshell right at the very end as they're driving away. And then somehow as they're driving away, like right on the edge of the town, like that insane hick is just chilling there with his truck with his dog, and like kind of like looks through the ambulance and like waves, like creepy waves to him. And then
guys,
boom, movie is over. Let's just talk before we talk about the whole movie. Let's just talk about that last scene. Like,
how about the ending credits? With the Helena song, popular shit back then because it literally came out 2 months before this movie.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about the soundtrack in a second, but where the hell did them having 3 sons come from? Like at the very end there.
I think that was just a way for them to like maybe have a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Because they didn't mention them at all, even in the beginning scenes with it was just the 2 boys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you only see the 2 baby chairs. All the newspaper clippings, you only see shit about the twins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But like I said, it's a slasher. You're not like, obviously there's like issues with the plot and stuff. Obviously it's just as like you said, they had to like get that little tie because somehow the Hick's just like chilling there, like not next to the cops or anything, and just like waves to him, like super weird. Yeah. But so anyway, so the movie's over. So what do you guys think?
Honestly, it was an awesome movie. I mean, it's not really scary. It's not. I think it's just an awesome ride, no pun intended. But and I'd probably give it a solid 7.8 out of 10 for like just awesomeness. How about you, Sean?
I absolutely love this movie. It's a fun watch. It's way too fucking long, but it is a fun watch.
Yes.
Like I've heard people rip this movie apart. Like, can we just as horror fans stop searching for like plot holes and like storylines and shit? Like, we just want to be scared. We want to have a fun time. Like, it's just enjoy the movie. Like, I've heard people call this like the House of Plots instead of the House of Wax.
Yeah, can I talk about that like really fast? Like like you almost have to like separate that too, because like there's different movies. Like if you see like there's certain movies that you want to be really good and you don't want to be stupid. Like you 100% want that. And
Horror.
but that's the thing. Like there's certain like this movie's like that you're like, oh my god, well that's so stupid. Why do they care? And I get that, but I also love slashers, like especially like 80s slashers and stuff, where like dear God, like some of the plots are so stupid. Like this movie's called House of Wax. Like for the love of God, it's like a wax museum horror. The plot, there's so many stupid parts in it. Ridiculously stupid. Even just like the ending, all of a sudden it's 3. But this movie is so fun, and you gotta almost suspend it for what kind of movie you're watching. Like if you're watching like a slasher like that, you have to lower your expectations for that and just throw away like the belief and just go on for the fun ride. And the same thing, like I mean, I got made fun of when I said that I picked this movie, but I think it's wicked fun. I'd give it like a 7.7 just for fun. Like you know, what I mean, it's awesome. It's like one of those things. If you're seeing like a serious horror movie and all of a sudden there's some big plot holes, you're like, all right, this is shit. Like I want to take this movie serious, and like they didn't even think this through. But for the love of God, House of Wax.
There's another movie sort of like this. I forget what year it was, but if you guys remember the Waxworks, an old I think it was an 80s horror movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was looking at like pitches like you guys have behind you, one of the pitches they have is Jared Padalecki in that chair getting sprayed with wax. And you can see like Vincent and stuff. It's a very cool looking picture, but I thought that was from the 80s film.
Yeah.
But you guys want some fun facts?
Oh, yeah. Sure. There's so many.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. There's a lot, dude.
This movie's just too fun.
Paris Hilton, like you were talking about, like everyone cheered.
Yeah.
This was the prime Paris. Like you either loved her or you hated her.
Yeah.
And like this girl is a marketing genius because she knew how many people hated her, especially in like the horror communities, like outside of that pop fun culture. She started a campaign with the tagline on May 6th, "See Paris Die," and she sold T-shirts to promote this. This is why, like you heard the cheering and stuff. Like this.
Oh yeah, I was there.
You hate Paris this much? Come see her get brutally murdered.
And it was a great marketing standpoint.
And I cheered too. I mean, at that point, I was like probably like I don't even know, like 2005, like early 20s, like. I don't even know how old I was, but like early 20s, like hating reality shit. Like, I didn't care about like any of that reality show. Same thing. I'm like, dear God, like I want to see the same thing. I cheered wicked loud. I was like, this is awesome.
One of the shirts said like, "See Paris get piped" or something like that.
God, I don't know, but like they marketed it very well. Yep. The villain has a memorable name, Vincent, which pays homage to the 1953 film in which the movie was based. It starred, at that time, horror movie legend Vincent Price as the lead character / villain.
Yep, that was one of my facts I had written down.
The movie, although it never really tells you where it takes place, we see like Baton Rouge and all that stuff, so obviously it's Louisiana, but the movie was actually filmed in Australia.
I know. How weird is that?
That is very weird.
What blows my mind, too, about this is like it takes place in the deep south. Like Louisiana, fucking hot, bro. Like you have a house of fire. How are you keeping that cold? How is that just not melting on its own?
Right. Solid points.
Wearing like a fleece in the middle of summer. And not only that, dude, like when they oversleep at a campground, like Justin, I know you've been hiking. I don't know about you, Waterboy, but like if you've ever slept in a tent, you wake up when the sun comes out. Like that's a fucking
you never oversleep.
Right? Ever.
In Louisiana in the dead of summer with fucking clothes, blankets, everything in a tent till 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that was so stupid too. Like, oh my God, they're like, oh my God, it's afternoon. Like,
I don't care how shit faced you got the night before, you're not sleeping till 2.
like 5:30 or whatever in the morning. As soon as it's like sun 6 a.m., you're like wide awake and it sucks, but you can't even go back to sleep.
And then just like in the film where they burned down the House of Wax, during the production, the Warner Brothers set actually caught on fire, and they wound up suing. Yeah, they wound up suing the special effects expert for $7 million. That's a fucking expensive candle.
Oh yeah, very expensive. Holy shit.
Paris, like we talked about, like she's like a method actor and all that. Like she killed this role. When she's seen running through the cars and it looks like she's out of breath, it's because she is actually out of breath. Before they shot the scene, she was sprinting up and down those stairs to make herself out of breath and look winded and like she had been running from Vincent the whole time. So props to her for that.
There you go.
That's
I'm assuming at some point during the filming, they had to have a lot of EpiPens. I don't know if you guys know where I'm going with this, but the House of Wax you see isn't just purely wax.
Yeah,
it's like 50-50 peanut butter.
Yep. And
yeah, they
one
said.
of the,
Sorry, go ahead,
go ahead.
Waterboy.
Oh,
Take
you
it
go
away,
ahead.
Waterboy.
All
I
right.
was just gonna say towards the end there, they were saying like Alicia Cuthbert kept getting like stuck in the bed because there's like so much peanut butter and everything. She was literally getting like stuck in the peanut butter.
Another fun fact about Paris is she is extremely shy, and she requested that like the filming crew, although I personally don't remember her screaming at all in this movie, but when she does scream during like the death scenes, she asked that the filming crew scream with her so she didn't feel as shy.
Hey, there you go. That's one way to get over it.
So
Alicia Cuthbert, who plays Padalecki's girlfriend throughout the movie, our final girl, if you will, in every scene where you don't see her shoes, she's actually got 2-inch blocks taped to her feet because there's such a drastic height difference between her and Jason.
oh,
Yeah, they said he's like a foot taller than her.
Vincent's mask throughout the movie, the way it's supposed to, like, it's a full face mask, and underneath the mask, he's got half a face. This is their way of trying to do something original, but also pay homage to Phantom of the Opera, where he covers like half his disfigured
I can see
face.
that. Yeah.
I did pick that up. Yeah. Sure.
Like we had touched earlier, like they built this movie pretty much around Paris Hilton. There's the alternate opening with the woman. Other than that, I think that's all I've got. Like we touched on the real glue, shit like that. Like the people in the movie theater, all the wax figures. The reason why they look so real is because it was actually production staff just wearing a face.
Yep, that's really cool.
You guys got anything?
So I just got some box office stuff. So despite only making $12 million for opening weekend, the movie had a $40 million budget, and it went on to make $32 million domestically, and grossed $70 million worldwide, which with marketing costs and all that stuff. But eventually, it did make its money back finally from video and rentals.
There we go.
I feel like this has become a cult, like not a classic, although it is almost 20 years old. But I feel like this is a cult classic amongst horror fans. You know what I mean? Once you, like we said earlier, once you let go of the plot and the storyline and all that fucking garbage, you know, and just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's a great movie. It's a fun movie to watch.
Yep.
Honestly.
All right, I got to give my Halloween tie-in. Hold on. Halloween tie-in. You challenged me to try to give the tie-ins to all the Halloween movies. This is one I had to kind of dig real deep. But I was shocked when I actually found one. And the composer that did all the music in this movie, John Ottman, was the composer of Halloween H2O. So this guy is he's done a bunch of different horror movies, the music in them. And like I said, same composer in Halloween H2O did all the creepy music in this movie. Boom, Halloween tie-in.
That is crazy.
Oh my fucking mind, dude. I dug so hard to try and find something. And I had sent it to you guys in the group text, but I could not find anything like that.
I had that early too. I dug deep. I was like, this is my movie. I am going to find the tie-in. I was clicking on friggin' names like Scream, like everything, like this editor. And then I saw John Ottman, composer, Halloween H2O, direct tie-in to the Halloween series. Let's fucking go. Sorry.
And yeah, so all the shit I gave you, it was like a tie-in to a tie-in.
Tie-in to a tie-in to a tie-in.
So this is actually the first horror remake that Jared Padalecki stars in. The second one was Friday the 13th in 2009.
Can we get another one, please? They fucking killed that movie. Can we get another one?
Right.
Jesus Christ.
All right,
boys. How we doing?
Wraps it up, I think.
Yeah, I think we are good.